This is Car Bros Podcast episode 58 live.
The big 5/8 Cyber Sunday special.
Actually forgot about that.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up? Few people know that's actually me singing.
One of his many talents.
Yeah. The Car Bros intro. That was me recorded in my car. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Thank you for being here. Another live episode. A special thanks to you, those of you who are in the audience live.
What's up?
That is super cool. What's up? I've made a list of opening things. First of all, since this is live, we watched the chat somewhat. We watched a little bit. But if you specifically have something that you want to have answered or you want us to pay attention to, go ahead and super chat us any amount of money. We don't really have a minimum, but we definitely pay attention to those. Or if you're just feeling generous, you can also super chat for any random reason. What's up to our patrons? I see some of you in the audience. What's up? If you are interested in becoming a patron, I highly recommend it. You can click the link in the description below, or you can Google Car Bros Patreon. We seem to have leveled off at about 70.
We've plateaued.
That'd be good to bump those numbers up, but they seem to be.
We'll have to get our Q4.
Yeah. Speaking of Patreon, we just put, as of like 12 hours ago, the kind of cutting room floor, director's cut, I don't know you want to call it, footage from the Monterey video. That is now on Patreon. And it went out to all the Kickstarters, but it's on Patreon as well. So if you sign up for Patreon, you get access to another 15 or so minutes that were either inappropriate,
too hot for TV,
or redundant, or long-winded, or not that funny,
or too funny to show.
Yeah, we actually saved the best stuff and didn't show it to anyone. But that's on Patreon as well, so you can check that out. Also, the shirt that I'm wearing in the Monterey video and the shirt that was in the Hellcat video, the Nürburgring shirt, which is the latest shirt we made, but at this point it's like 2 years old. But it's kind of
classic design.
Yeah, it's a solid shirt,
vintage.
That is back up for sale, and the way that works is the sale runs for 7 days, and then it is over. And so, if you're interested in picking that up, is there a link to that in the description?
I can put one.
There will be
later. There's currently not one.
I think if you Google Car Bros Nürburgring shirt,
it'll probably
that will probably work. Yep, that is
confirmed.
Also, yeah, confirmed live. That is a way to do that. So you've got I think 7 more days to get that bought, and then I did it at this point so that you could get it for a Christmas gift. And that's actually a solid shirt. We specifically picked a company that uses, it's not American Apparel, but it's close.
Yeah.
So it's like, the one thing I hate about swag is when it's like a piece of shit, like Walmart, boxy,
super heavy, exactly, yeah.
like stiff.
The length of the shirt never changes; it just gets wider and wider.
So these are actually nice shirts. It's actually a shirt that I would wear, anyways. It's
too fancy
if you weren't embarrassed by it.
Yeah. So go ahead and buy one of those for your mom,
the whole family,
just for your mom,
whoever, just in time. Yeah. Anyways, I think that is the end of it. Okay, so something that has happened recently, big news.
Big news.
Yeah, and this happened. So I'll give you the full story. At the end of the Monterey video, the car breaks down. And
spoiler alert.
That was not planned, but it happened. And so I called that tow truck, and they told me on the phone, they're like, it'll be there in 30 minutes.
And that's part of the reason why we just left you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abandoned you.
We were like, well, he can just hang out here, and
Yeah, Mike and John.
he'll be on the road in no time.
Mike and John were like, we're going to go back and pack up. And I was like, they should be here in 30 or 45 minutes.
We'll probably
or
all get
something.
back at the same time.
Yeah. And so it took the tow truck like 2 hours to come get me.
I thought it was like 3, but yeah.
It might have
was
been.
a very
I don't
long
know.
time.
I went and walked around Fisherman's Wharf, bought some baklava.
Yeah.
So I'm like hanging out there for like an hour, just like standing by the car,
Posting up.
posted up, looking pretty tough.
Yeah.
Putting out the vibe. And everyone who walks by is like commenting on it. It's like no different than
Right.
the rest of the weekend. And so people are talking about it. And I'm like, I'm pretty good at giving the story at this point about like what it is, depending on their level of knowledge and interest, like how much to tell them. And so I'm hanging out, and these two guys walk up, and they, I can't remember, but they might have said we saw it at the Quail or something.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, cool. These are like legitimate enthusiasts. And so I'm giving them the whole story about how we got into the Quail and that whole thing. And they're just like eating it up. They're like really into it. And so I probably talked to them for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of fitting. And we even said that in the video. We're like, it's fitting that this is the end because it broke down. And like that like makes a lot of sense for this
Because
car.
the car's a piece of shit.
Because the car's a piece.
Spoilers.
Because the car sucks. And so I was like, yeah, it's fitting that this is the end. And they were like, well, we don't think this should be the end. We're both producers for Jay Leno's Garage, and we're about to go have dinner with Jay. And like, he's probably going to love this story. And this is like the perfect car to have on that show. So let me get your number. And like, we're going to film in like 2 months or something. And like, let's do that. It was just like,
Boom. Yeah.
it was wild. Because it was total random.
Yeah.
Like to be in that parking lot and to have that to run into them.
Yeah. Just happenstance.
It just totally happened to work out that way.
I remember, like, I think Garrett and I had just gotten home at that point, and you had called us, still waiting for the tow truck, I think.
Yeah. Did I
And
call or text or something?
I can't remember. I think maybe you did text, but yeah, you were like,
You're like, something really sweet.
I was like,
happened.
you were
something
like,
happened.
something happened. I got to tell you. And we were like, what happened? You're like, I can't tell you now. You got to wait till I get home in person.
It was big news.
So we were like, okay.
And so we didn't hear anything from that guy, the producer, one of the executive producers. And so we didn't hear anything for like 2 months. And then we released the Monterey video.
Yeah.
And like 2 days later, he calls me and he's like, hey, what's up? Like, are you still interested in being on the show? I was like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
totally. I mean, I had kind of written him off
Sure.
a little
Yeah.
bit. Because like that stuff just happens in
Like you weren't
life.
holding your breath.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're totally going to do this thing. Or whatever. It's like, until we've done it. And so he calls and he's like, can you be here in like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah.
It was very tight. And we were like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And so the Fieri was leaking still.
Yeah, we still hadn't it fixed. Yeah.
And so we took it back to
Nathan.
Nate. We did a fix. We refixed the heater core. We did
Yeah.
a more permanent fix on the heater core, and then it started leaking again. This car, it's kind of like how when you have an itch and you scratch it, and then like something else
Yeah.
itches.
Did you notice something else? Yeah.
That car, it's kind of that car is
else
a
popped
It's one big mosquito bite.
Yeah. And so it started leaking again, and it was like, we don't have time to fuck around with this. And so we took it back to Nathan, and it turned out to be the overflow bottle for the coolant. And so Nathan, like, he deleted a bunch of coolant lines and like went through it again, and he idled it. I think he said for like an hour. He was like,
solid.
He was like, I think
This
it's
time.
good. Yeah. And I was like, all right, like good enough. And so we trailered it down to Burbank. November 15th this happened, and filmed. It already happened.
Yeah.
We've been waiting.
It's done.
It's in the books.
It's done. It's in the books. So the car has been on Jay Leno's Garage.
Yeah.
But it has not aired yet.
It has not aired yet. It will air in 2020, early
Yeah, we
2020.
don't- we don't have an
he
exact
said they're shooting for January, but they are going to
Yeah.
let us know when it gets closer, so you guys will. You'll be kept in the loop.
Yeah,
on
and
this.
they are putting it on. It'll be on the CNBC version, but apparently they repost stuff onto the web after, and we're allowed to repost
it on our channel.
which is all I mean, it'll be amazing for exposure, but it's like no one in our audience has cable.
Right.
It's like how are these people
My
gonna
dad
see
does.
this? Yeah, right. And so we'll make sure you won't miss it. But yeah, that happened. It's kind of a surreal experience. And maybe we'll talk more about it after it airs.
We
We'll
don't
talk
want
about
to
the
spoil
whole
anything, but
experience. But yeah. Yeah. So
I guess we can. I mean, yeah. We can wait because I mean, there's stuff that the stuff that isn't on the air was pretty fun. But
we'll give the whole.
Yeah,
we'll recount. The
Yeah,
whole
we'll recap
thing.
that probably.
But just know that is coming. So patrons already knew about that.
Right.
Here's
I
a
posted
teaser.
Posted a selfie.
Yeah.
When it happened, but yeah, it was pretty incredible. So yeah, that happened. Be on the lookout. Okay, something else big happened. Thanksgiving.
A little known holiday here in the States.
A little hole in the wall. Yeah. So we have a whole thing in here about Thanksgiving travel.
Well, just you driving
Spoiler
down here
alert,
today.
Well, it is raining. If you're in California,
It's been like raining
big
the past
storm.
week.
the whole
basically.
state, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a big storm is passing through.
Which is rare.
Which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
It doesn't like rain hard. It rains like on and off, but it's not even raining hard.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like no one.
It's just whenever it rains, pretty much the whole state just like shuts down.
Yeah.
Like we're just
People
not
go
built
nuts.
for it.
Yeah.
Like all the roads flood because the drainage
Yeah.
sucks. And, yeah.
So I was driving here, down to live stream today. It's like a couple hours ago through like a pretty big storm, and I counted 6 cars that had spun off the road in a 3-hour drive into like a ditch, like 50 feet off the freeway. Like they're like way off in a ditch. Just because I think just because of the rain. I don't think
There's
it
like
was,
whoops.
yeah. And so it was like the first like big rain of the year, and people are just like flying off the road. So that's pretty sweet. We assume it's bald tires.
yeah.
That's what,
Just people driving on crappy tires.
that was our takeaway. Because it was making me think like the weather is so mild here that you can really drive.
You don't really need to buy tires.
shitty.
Right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can like. It's like, what's the point of tread? Like, oh right.
Whereas like
Those few days that are
the whole middle of the country, like the concept of winter tires, like is a thing.
It's a
where-
thing.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
like, oh, November's coming, time to change out my whole set of wheels and put
Yeah,
new tires on.
we don't really think about that.
No, yeah,
we
we don't.
drive on like max performance,
Right.
Summer
Yeah.
tires. Like it makes sense to me now, but when I was younger, I remember buying tires and being like, max performance summer, like they still have tread.
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, they're not.
Like
They're not slicks. Like,
Yeah,
what's
it's like
going
I
on?
can drive these things through anything.
Right.
And now it's like, oh right, like some outside of Central California, that is a thing.
I remember when like a few times when I lived in LA still, like during Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and I think it's even going on right now. Like there's the stretch of freeway that connects like Southern California to the middle of California is called the Grapevine.
Yeah, it's like a 4,500 foot.
Yeah,
mountain
you
pass.
essentially just drive up a mountain and then drive down a mountain in like 30 minutes or less. But it gets snow when it rains really hard and gets cold, and so they'll shut down like that whole freeway. So you just can't
Yeah.
go that route, and you have to go this.
becomes a whole clusterfuck.
Yeah, you have to go this completely other route around the mountains essentially, and it adds like double the time. And so there's been a couple times where a 3 or 4 hour drive turned into an 8 to 12 hour drive just
Yeah.
because all the freaking.
Sitting in traffic is such a waste of life.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's the worst. I don't really know what to do about it, but it sucks.
But on that note, I spent last week in Florida. I went to Walt Disney World with my family. Yep.
We win for the right moment.
I was not expecting that. People who follow us on Instagram would know that I was in Florida. I posted a couple photos from there, but yeah. And I just want to say that driving in Florida is like a million times better than California, because This is just derailed so bad.
Continue.
You're just dying over there.
I didn't tell. They didn't.
We didn't know about this.
John's been
soundboard.
lagging on the soundboard, so I just made my own.
Yeah.
Except that's the only thing I snap. It's
Got one audio cue.
It's the only clip I
Yeah,
have.
from now on, you have to wait till Coin says continue.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
For these knuckleheads over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like California roads are complete shit. Like I know, like you can't drive
That's what I've heard.
10 feet without a crack or a pothole, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And even when they resurface
and
the road,
and you also like you just can't see when the roads get wet.
oh yeah,
You just like I don't know where it must. Like,
Yeah,
if
there's that
if there,
too.
was,
Yeah,
if there
like
wasn't
the-
other cars driving.
There
Right,
is
yeah.
that too, but the
Yeah.
quality of road.
Oh, yeah, it's
is
garbage.
like it's surprisingly bad.
Yeah, Mhm. like-
Although I don't really notice it until it's called out. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if you have a bumpy car, you're kind of fucked. in
even when they like
California.
resurface a road, which they do like once every 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, it's got like bumps. In
Yeah,
it.
it's still like super wavy and bumpy, and then like within a year or two, there's cracks and potholes again. But one thing I noticed is in Florida, it's like those roads are seriously like ultra smooth and like not a single crack. And
Really?
obviously that state gets tons of rain and hurricanes and shit. like that.
Everywhere it's smooth.
Yeah, like on the freeway, on the like obviously we stayed mostly around
Streets and stuff.
yeah, Walt Disney World and like the outskirts and stuff like that. But I seriously looked to try to find a crack in the asphalt.
Wow.
And I didn't see it
Man.
unless it was like a parking lot. Then like,
Florida's doing one thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they got that.
And I noticed they have toll roads over there. So obviously
Maybe that's part of it.
a portion of that actually goes towards maintaining roads. Whereas in California, we have a huge gas tax.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that works. If that goes toward paying the construction of that road,
Right.
or the maintenance, or what they have like turnpikes or something like that.
Yeah.
Or is it that kind of thing?
Yeah, like even
Yeah.
like a major freeway like has a toll road, or if you get off at a
Yeah.
certain exit, you have to pay the toll.
A lot of
or
the
do
East Coast
express
is like
lane.
that, or it's
Yeah.
like you kind of just have to pay to get around,
Right.
And then it's like you forget that that's how it is. And then California, it's like you can top of the state to the bottom,
Right, yeah.
It's like
The only
it's free.
really toll road I know of in California is that one that connects the 405 to the 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful.
I know there's a
commuter
couple, but
commuter
There's a couple like
roads,
bridges, and
Right,
stuff
yeah,
in
that's
the
true.
area.
But I would much rather have toll roads and have good quality roads than what we currently have, where we pay an extra $1 a gallon essentially in gasoline.
Yeah,
And then they don't even fix the roads.
the road's so bumpy that people fly off
Yeah.
of it when it
Yeah.
rains.
Can I just say the funniest thing about the state of California is that they'll give you money to buy an electric car, and then they also want to like raise the
Registration.
yeah because they don't pay gas tax.
It's the registration for an electric car.
Yeah, so it's like okay, all right. On one hand, okay, we're gonna pay you some money, but we're gonna need to get that. We need to get.
there's
that
like an
back.
electric. There's like an EV registration fee.
Yeah, they've like
something.
made it more expensive. It was like, hey, these people aren't buying gas.
Wait a minute, something's
Sons
going on
of
here.
bitches.
That's how they're probably like funneling it from one department into another.
Yeah.
It's just like a surreptitious
That's
way of
that's kind
funding
of how the state
DMV.
works.
Yeah.
But I also rented a RAV4 in Florida, or had a RAV4 rental car. Yeah.
Was it a '96 Rav4 2-door?
No, it was a
okay.
brand new one. And I have to say, I mean, as far as rental cars go, it was like the best rental car I've ever had. It's a quality car.
What year? I'm sorry.
I would assume it was a 2019.
It was the newest.
yeah,
one.
the newest
Yeah.
one. Like
No-
it had Apple CarPlay, and like it had the lane, like the blind detection mirrors.
I like those
and the
quite a
radar
bit.
detection.
It's so crazy
Did you
because
see the plug-in hybrid one that they?
I haven't really
showed?
been looking at
It has
it.
like
Yeah.
302 horsepower.
Oh yeah.
That's
pretty
yeah.
cool.
I'm assuming this was just the 4-cylinder one.
Yeah, I'm
but
sure
it's
it
still-
probably wasn't even a hybrid.
But it didn't have a
yeah.
CVT. It still had like an
Yeah,
8-speed.
yeah. I don't think Toyota uses. I think they only use a CVT in their hybrids. all
Okay,
their
yeah. I
stuff
was gonna
is-
say it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, as far as a daily driver, I wouldn't like it because I like faster cars. More,
Sure.
You like big brawny.
a little more
Yeah.
flash than me. But as far as rental car goes, I was pretty impressed.
Feeling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the RAV4 before that was like so offensively boring.
Yeah.
It was just like the lamest looking.
Like the most
vehicle.
generic car
It was
on the road.
very generic. And then the one before that, I thought was pretty cool. I mean, those
Yeah.
were all over the place.
They had a V6.
They were like, yeah, V6. And
It's
so
got a V6?
yeah, the new ones, the new RAV4 and the new CRV for as like pedestrian as they are. I think
Right.
they're both pretty sweet.
Yeah.
They're both pretty cool.
Solid.
home run.
Did you get one?
Home run on both. I'm gonna get one. They kind of, as Toyota's lineup is interesting because they have like the, it's like the mini and the big version of their SUV as the RAV4 and the Highlander,
Right.
And then they have like the mini and the big version of their body on frame SUVs.
Yeah.
4Runner and
Sequoia.
no, that's right, Sequoia too. I was gonna say Land Cruiser.
Well, Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Right, that's Sequoia too. They have a lot of.
And Sequoia's also old as fuck too.
All their shit is so old. It's wild. It's like
At least all their big stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
they don't update anything.
really
And
milking
just
it
keeps
for all it's
smelling.
worth.
Put different headlights on it or something. I mean, it's fine, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of nothing,
As we are apt to do.
highway driving. Well, when I was driving back the last time, I think maybe it was just on Thursday for Thanksgiving. I came down here for Thanksgiving and then went back up to edit the Monterey director's cut, and then I came back down today. And I think when I was going back up on Friday, every once in a while this happens on the highway, but you'll just come across someone who's like way slower.
Yeah, that
than
actually happened when we
else.
were driving down to LA for the Leno thing.
Yeah,
My brother was towing the car.
there's just
Yeah.
someone
Yeah,
going.
There's just
like,
a dude just like, I'm just
55.
driving like 53 miles an hour.
Yeah.
it's like way slower than everyone else, and like people are like
Yeah.
careening around them. So I don't know why it just happens.
Or don't you?
apparently.
No, actually, remember that was the guy. Like my brother, like honked at him or something, and then like after that, he put his hazards.
Like,
Oh,
put
on.
the
yeah.
hazards on. It's just
right,
like,
yeah.
You started texting.
Yeah, we was just texting.
yeah. Then we started joking
Don't
about
mind me.
like
Yeah.
popping your hazards on and slowing down to text.
Yeah,
but
which
you're
he was
still
doing.
fucking driving.
It's fine.
yeah, except
Well,
that's
this is an important text message.
way more dangerous.
I've got my flashers on. It's all right.
Texting and driving, I feel like something needs to be done about that because can you think of another law that is more broken than that one? At least car related.
No, probably not.
It's got to be even more than
Talking on the cell phone.
no,
yeah.
DUI,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
like driving while intoxicated. Because I think a lot of people are probably drunk or not drunk, but
Right.
Buzzed.
Impaired.
I think so. It's like I bet way more people wear their seatbelt than
Yeah.
text. It's like everyone's fucking using their phone while they're driving.
Apple
Yeah.
CarPlay, bro.
And it's way dangerous
Yeah.
because the result is that they do the move where like it's like so obvious who's using their phone because they're like looking at their lap over and over.
Well, like,
It's like-
almost every time you see a car like driving badly, like
Yeah.
veering out of their lane, like it's always someone.
they're on their phone
yeah.
or something. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know what needs to be done, but I'm kind of wondering if it was legal to just like still discourage it, but at least you can have it in view. Well, like,
I don't think that's gonna fly.
wouldn't that be safer? I'm saying they only do this because it's illegal,
Yeah.
right? It's like, everyone's doing it.
There's like different degrees of ticket.
I'm just
for
saying,
it.
no, it's like you don't like. We're not saying it's okay, but like you're not gonna get a ticket anymore, so you can be holding it up,
Yeah.
if you want, instead of like staring.
You gotta be
at
making your intentions clear.
staring at your legs every 2 seconds.
I should say,
don't know.
I was riding with my boss the other day, and he has like a brand new like Tahoe or something.
Yeah.
And obviously, so now it has like the lane departure and like the adaptive cruise control and stuff like that, or like whatever. So, and he like lives on his phone, so he's like constantly checking his email or texting or emailing, and he always does the like speech to text. But like we were driving somewhere in town, like not even on a freeway, and he was just like not like both hands off the wheel, like letting the car keep it in his lane, and he was just going like using double thumbs on his phone. And I was just sitting there, and for some reason I like didn't care, but I was like, oh, he's just letting the car drive itself essentially.
That is like the best part about autopilot,
Right,
Or like any of those. It's like you can just full on text
Yeah.
now. Like, it's not about sleeping.
Yeah.
It's the ability to use your phone, both hands. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that the 55 thing made me think about. I don't know why I had this thought. So it might fit in anywhere. But you know, you'll drive through a construction zone or something, and it'll be like, speed limit's 55, and then they'll have the sign.
Oh yeah, the
You're
that
going
shows
this
your
fast.
current
How
speed.
fast you're
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
Which I wonder how accurate those are because it calibrates your speedometer.
yeah.
Like, unless they're not accurate. but I'm surprised how much faster all my car speedometers read
Oh, yeah.
than is real. But I was thinking it'd be pretty funny if they had those signs on ramps.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like speed limit 65 and you're doing 40, like fucking
Yeah, go
Pick it up.
faster.
yeah, like hit it. Or so it starts like flashing when you're doing 40. Because people will enter the freeway
Yeah.
at like
Way below speed.
49.
way below. Yeah, it's like dangerously slow.
Have we talked about that? How people that just like accelerate, like, they'll still like get up to the speed limit,
Yeah.
but they just fucking, they're just like, I'll get there.
Yeah, especially on the freeway. It's like, okay, that lane is now hazardous.
People are like,
To
swerving
be in. They're
around,
like violently jackknifing around him. Yeah, I don't
spinning
know.
off into a ditch.
I feel like that sign would be sweet. Like,
Pick it up.
32,
Yeah.
punch it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
you.
flashing at him.
Yourself.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, the other thing about Thanksgiving travel, we didn't really go too far, just a couple hours.
Yeah.
So, but I had to put gas in our Clarity hybrid, which I don't have to do too often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I went to do that, I think it was Wednesday night, and it was just a normal gas station, but it's just kind of like a clusterfuck. I was just like, man, this fucking sucks.
Yeah. Busy gas stations.
Because it's like there's people coming in from like two different ways,
Right.
Yeah.
and like people have their the tank is on different sides on
Yeah.
each car,
Yeah.
and people get like boxed in, and there's fucking
Yeah.
like waiting. It's like, man, this is so like fucking
I've seen
barbaric.
people like they're in line, but they're backwards because they're planning on backing in.
Right, yeah,
once
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy- you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I think I like started to like turn the car around, and like some other guy came. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
yeah,
Plus, it's like
pretty bad.
unknown
Gas
whether
rage.
whether the person's going to pay at the pump, like with a credit card, or they're going to get out of their car and walk inside. And then it's like, are they just going to go pay cash real fast, or are they going to like browse all the merchandise or use the rest? Like, how long is this person going to take?
Pretty much anything.
A lot of them have signs now. They're like, move the car if you're
Right.
going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
At least in
nice.
like the more like well-traveled.
They're just
areas.
like chilling there.
yeah,
It reminds me of when restaurants will back up.
like
They'll-
drive-throughs or
No,
just,
in the store.
like the people
Like
standing inside.
Yeah, like not a restaurant, but like a fast
In-N-Out type-
casual
In-N-Out type
or
place.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
In-N-Out's pretty good, but a lot of places like Popeyes or like Panda, some of your more like B level,
The bush leagues.
yeah, the not like elite tier. They don't really have a line. They just have like an order area,
Right.
And they'll get slammed, and the line will just sort of form,
Right.
But it's like up to people to
Yeah.
To like decide which way
decide
it goes.
how to like, and it'll, sometimes you'll go in and it's like snaking through the restaurant and like brushing up against tables.
Yeah.
And
This is kind of off topic, but like those. I think we've talked about how the custom pizza places.
Yeah.
Like
build your own
I
pizza
assume they
and
have those
they bake
everywhere,
it.
not just in California.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing worse than a fucking long line at one of those places.
Yeah, because each order takes like 20 minutes.
Like the other day,
or
I
something.
went like before lunch, and then by the time I left, there's a line of people, and you just fucking look at them. It's like that person's been standing there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I want light cheese on that one.
Yeah.
Just like standing there with these completely fucking. It's like the opposite of fucking
Like
In-N-Out.
sauce. A little bit more sauce.
Yeah, but it's like it doesn't like you see the line. It's like, okay, there's like 7 people in front of me. It's no big deal. But like, no, you're gonna be standing there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, those places are good. Like most of these places work until they get busy.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it's
then
just
it
like
falls
it's a
apart.
shit show. Yeah, shit's coming off the rails real fast. One other thing that I was thinking of, this doesn't really fit, but the adaptive driving stuff, autopilot or whatever. It's like, could you drive? Someone in the audience might want to test this, but could you drive around town without using your brakes?
Actually, I have some input on that.
Do you? And like just let the
Well,
emergency
our friend
stop?
Peter, who listens to this, he also has a Honda Clarity.
Oh, yeah?
he bought it after I recommended it.
What's up, Peter?
Yeah, he usually listens, but I saw him the other day, and we like went to get food or something, and we were driving in his car, and he's like, "Yeah, I use my adaptive cruise control like in town,
Oh,
like just like on city streets." And he's like, "Yeah, as long as you're behind another car, it works good."
No, I'm talking about like the collision avoidance where like you'll come.
You mean just never use it? Like, yeah. I mean,
like it'll slam on the brakes for you.
Theoretically, it should work, but if it doesn't work, you're going to be in a world of trouble.
Yeah. That's what I'm just
You're going
curious about.
50 up to a stopped red light.
Doesn't it brake?
When's it going to break?
And it would be an extremely like not smooth driving process.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it would work. Like,
But
how
yeah, but
reliable are
the
those
adaptive
systems?
cruise control like actually works as long as there's other cars.
Yeah, that's how.
But like it won't like read a light. Obviously, the Teslas don't
Yeah.
read lights, do
Not
they?
yet. They keep
probably will at some
saying it's
point.
like weeks away.
It's been weeks away, like a couple years.
It's been literally. It's been like. It's supposed to be unless it's out, but they keep saying like by the end of the year.
Yeah, because you can just like set it to like 48 miles an hour, and it'll just like stay behind.
It'll do that. Yeah, as long as there's a car in front of you.
Yeah,
it'll
but
break
that's
down
the
to
other thing that I
zero.
realized because I used it when we were driving for Thanksgiving is like,
Yeah.
it's awesome, but it also sucks because like you'll like box in tons of people if you just use that. You know, like normally when you're driving,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
kind of like
yeah.
aware of other cars. Like, okay, like this guy's gonna want to move over. Like this guy, you're like anticipating what they want to do. But if you're just using that, like you'll just like box in people and stuff. It's like, nope, I'm just waiting until my my adaptive cruise control is set on this, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, the automated stuff doesn't really.
So like,
play
it's like I assume these people are like, "You fucking asshole."
Yeah.
Like,
That's how cruise control is. It'll
Yeah.
fuck with people when it's like.
well, but I mean,
I'm
cruise
not doing
control
it.
at least like because basically when you have your adaptive, you're just mirroring what the car in front of you is doing.
Right.
So like a guy will be trying to get him. It's like, nope, I'm slowing back down.
Yeah.
No, I got to
Yeah.
keep like whatever 7 car lengths.
Yeah, that'll
all
probably be.
times.
That's like a whole like world of polish that I assume isn't going to be on whatever the first release.
Well, like
is.
it works well, but I think it just has to have a seat. Like it needs to leave enough space to
Yeah.
like where the car in front of you technically just comes to an immediate stop and it still stops. Mm-hmm. I assume that's what it is, but
You can set it though.
yeah, I know. But I mean, even on the
Even the
lowest,
closest
even the
setting,
lowest
it's
setting is
still
still
like
like
30 feet.
It's not
yeah.
like ride
It's
there.
pretty
no,
hard. Yeah.
not even close.
It's like
That's what I mean. I assume like it has to be like assuming this car just comes to complete stop.
yeah.
It needs to leave
He
that.
slams on
Yeah, it
his
needs to have like a
brakes or
buffer
whatever.
zone.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Since we're on the topic, Tesla truck,
Cybertruck, you mean?
the Cybertruck, which we're not going to talk about the truck itself because
I'm pretty fucking sick of it.
Yeah, it's been
because like
overtalked.
24 hours after it was released, it was just fucking like.
I've had enough.
Everywhere you looked.
Well, that's what I was telling before it even came out. I was telling Mike, I was like, you should watch the event because.
Oh yeah, I was like, I don't watch this shit.
Yeah, well, because otherwise you have to listen to everyone,
The takes.
and their
Everyone's
fucking
take and
takes,
recap, yeah.
Which who gives a shit what you think?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's literally my takeaway for most of this stuff
Mm.
is like, who cares what you think?
Yeah.
Takes are a commodity, bro.
Who cares what you think? Seriously, your opinion doesn't matter.
What if you're an influencer?
Yeah, you don't matter. There is no such thing as an influencer. It's like you're reacting to it at that point. But there's all this stuff about like they're not going to break into traditional. It's like who gives a shit what you think? Your opinion is worthless. It's worthless. And so I can't stand reading that shit anymore. And so I just watched the event because it's like that's the company talking about it. And that's like, great, I'll form my own
You
opinion.
can interpret it.
Yeah, instead it's like, just give me what you have to say instead of the fucking takes, which are just, they're beyond terrible. And so I think the only thing that is worth talking about from that actual presentation is like what a missed opportunity it is for Elon to not practice that shit more. He's so unpolished. And
It's his
like,
brand.
It's like, yeah, people are like, that's part of his charm. It's like, I guess, but he's just so bumpy. He's not Steve Jobs.
No.
You know, it's like you can tell Jobs was up the night before.
Yeah, right.
Like
Yeah,
nailing
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
Oh, yeah, we have ATV too.
do you want a truck that's tough? It's like, it's just like, it's like someone ran through it on note cards and he's like, yeah. You know, it's like, how fucking rushed was this presentation? But the other thing that like just I wince about is like seriously every like 15 seconds someone in the audience would be like, Elon! Yeah. Elon! Hey, what's up? Like throughout the whole.
I bought a Model 3.
Yeah, hey, nice shoes. Like they're just trying to get him to like.
Yeah.
They're probably fucking drunk. I assume.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but I like the truck, but I don't think it's worth talking about.
Moving on.
Then we will become. But the thing that I do want to talk about is the multitude of, like, if you think the people who have takes after the fact are cringy and bad, let's talk about the pre-release renders.
Especially for that thing.
Because I don't know how they do it. I'm guessing it's because it's made in-house, but it's like there were 0 leaks of that thing. 0 opportunities for Jalopnik to be relevant
the
for 8
Cybertruck
seconds.
before you're supposed to see
Oh,
it.
here's a leak. Oh, we found it.
Yeah.
And so it's like there was nothing. And it was like there wasn't anything. And so no one had any idea. And so every once in a while, people do this thing where it's like, is this what the...
Yeah. They'll just like make a concept drawing
we got the
based
best
off
minds.
of nothing.
Is this what the XYZ looks like? And I've said it before. They're always like
Cringe.
they're like, we took the previous model and like
Added some vents.
Yeah.
smoothed it. Yeah, it's like they're never close. But the Tesla truck ones were especially bad. And this is just Googling what Tesla truck render.
Yeah. You get
Luckily,
these
the
gems.
internet has saved some of them. Oh man, I think that white one on the left is like
This one?
No,
Yeah,
that's
like one of my favorite.
I like the Tesla writing on the bumper.
It's in your face.
Is this what the?
And the hood latches are also
You can
the
so much.
Tesla
You can so
logo.
tell you like just like started with like F-150.
Yeah.
Okay.
F-150 body.
Yeah, it's just like it's so clear to me. Like if you actually had talent in this field, you'd be so employed.
You wouldn't be making speculative.
that you wouldn't have the free time. So it's just like the dregs of the
It's sweet that they put their
community.
name on it too. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
their little
sign it
Instagram
and stuff.
like watermark.
Hit me up.
That green one on the right is pretty. The middle.
Oh, right here. This, yeah.
Is that one?
Yeah, it's not far off.
That one's got to be
Well,
a joke.
because
That one looks like a joke.
Because
Yeah.
they teased.
What is that?
I'm pretty sure someone was fucking around when they
No,
made
they're
it.
not, dude. None of these are.
It's futuristic, man.
Because
That is
they
the future.
teased. If you go back to that,
That tease thing. Yeah.
they actually. Let's see. Scroll down. You could probably find the actual. No, keep going. Get that thing. So that is official.
this.
Yeah.
And that was released at whatever point.
Yeah.
And so
like a couple weeks before.
yeah, I think it was even like months.
Wait, go check out that one. No, go back. Yeah, left. Yeah, bring enhance.
Yeah, this one's pretty solid.
Is this the new Tesla truck? Like, yeah.
That's just a freaking Chevy Avalanche with like
Bro, it's
no
an
grill.
F-150, clearly, bro.
No, but look at the little connector part from the bed to the
nailed
cabin. Yeah.
You nailed it, man.
I like how you also put like Model 3 wheel
Yeah.
discs
Yeah.
on it.
Probably recycled.
22s.
Yeah, and so you'll see like almost all of them they'll try to incorporate that bar thing into
Not
like that one on
really.
the left.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
No.
And this-
Left down.
Oh, right. Yeah. There it is.
On that.
Oh, they thought that was the back of the truck.
It's just like
It's like,
they're
nope, that's the
so
That one looks
bad.
like they used like a step side, like Silverado.
They're so cringy. Oh man.
Yeah, that's like so clearly like a Chevy pickup.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I get so much enjoyment out of
And it also has the same Model 3.
Yeah.
just watching people just fail so badly at that. Oh man. Oh, that that one's. I could look at these all day.
This
Yeah.
just looks like that
There it
person
is.
that they took a Model 3 and like cut off the back and like actually
Yeah, Simone
yeah,
or something.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was gonna. Well, like not that, but I thought it was gonna be like more like that. Like
Right, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like the Honda Ridge line of electric pickups.
right.
Is
I mean,
what I thought.
you know, it's like they certainly delivered on
Bold.
something no one saw coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you scroll down on Google,
this
Images,
God damn.
it's just keep getting worse.
There it
Oh
is.
man.
Better go to
Not bad.
Drive a
Drivable
bled.
designs.
Drive a blade.
Give them some exposure.
It's drivable, bro.
Oh, there it is.
That forest background
got
is
it
pretty
now.
cool too.
Yeah.
Anyways, pretty sweet.
Hats off.
Yeah, I certainly don't quit your day job.
No.
Which, who knows if these people have jobs? I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Just a little observation.
Made fun of people's effort enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm excited for that thing to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first 6 months maybe of owning that thing are gonna be nuts. It's gonna be
when it's rare.
Yeah, because it's pure attention at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you have the new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like that's not the market that's going to buy it. That's just like
The
people who
people that
want
wanna
the
show
newest
off.
thing.
Yeah.
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 And it's like I can't think of a car a more you've got the newest thing item
Immediately recognizable.
than that car. Yeah, ever. The other thing that I hate, I probably shouldn't even talk about this, but the other thing I hate is the influencers or the journalists. I'm not gonna people who write
Walter Cronkites.
people who write online. How something will happen and it'll have some initial reaction where it'll be like Tesla truck or AirPods are the other one, the Apple wireless
Yeah.
earbuds. And the initial reaction will be negative in this case, in both of them, where it's AirPods or Cybertruck, it's so ugly, it's so dumb. And then a year or two later, if it becomes popular and successful, they'll be like, people are finally starting to come around.
Yeah.
Or we've finally
We've come to terms.
yeah, we've allowed them to be popular. It's you don't matter. The company didn't change anything. You have no influence here. Please stop writing things on the internet. Shouldn't have gone down that path. Try not to be too negative.
Yeah.
This is holiday resolution.
Yeah, New Year's resolution.
Yeah, well, I got one more month left. Okay. I wanted to talk about, because I was driving down here in the rain specifically. There are 3 different things which kind of crack me up that cars feature.
Wheels.
One of them is fog lights.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Well,
What do they do?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know, because
they illuminate the 4 feet in front of the
Bro, you've
car.
never been on a foggy road and just been and you're like, there we go.
is that what they're for?
I don't know.
I suppose. I mean, they do illuminate the ground up to 4 to 5 feet
Yeah,
in front
but
of
it's
the car,
like-
but
it's
it's
like-
barely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's inches of your view in front of the
How does that help?
car.
Supposed to help when the visibility is 200 feet.
Or are they just markers so that you can see? Is it for other people?
I have no idea.
I mean, I truly don't know, but it's it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
A lot of cars have fog lights,
Right.
but no one uses them, and I don't.
I mean,
know.
rally cars have them because they're literally driving on pitch black.
Yeah, but those are super bright.
That's what I mean.
Hellas
That's
and
what I
stuff
mean.
like that.
big things
the ones that they
like
mount on the grill and
And
stuff.
there's
Yeah,
4 of
that's-
them. Yeah.
yeah.
different, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean
like
that's
a little-
actually whatever driving lights.
Right.
I'm just curious. Maybe someone can chime in. Do they actually illuminate the road? It's I actually don't know what they're for. So that is number one that I don't understand. The other one is the fastest setting on windshield wipers, which is
Just so erratic.
it's so fast.
So hectic.
It's so violent. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't know that I've ever been in a situation where
It's
I've
really
needed
coming
it.
down.
Yeah, I've needed it. I mean, as I say it, it's it must exist.
Yeah.
The situation must
Downpour,
exist.
probably in Florida.
Yeah, but it's so fast. I've done it a couple times by accident, and I stop because I feel like I'm gonna break something because it's just violent.
My favorite is when people have it on the fastest setting and it's mildly raining and it's just going crazy and they're at a stoplight, especially when they're not even moving. And
Yeah, when people mismatch.
There's never. It seems like there's never a sweet spot. It's always too fast or too slow.
Yeah,
that's why you got to get auto windshield wipers, bro.
I actually don't use mine that much.
They really don't do a whole lot, especially if
Yeah.
you're
At highway speeds, they don't. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's I have almost the same visibility of just water hitting the windshield
versus the things
and-
moving back and forth.
Yeah, versus a thing going
Like a
in
blur
front of
going
my.
Yeah.
across.
Yeah, it's
Again,
like
we're in California where it doesn't rain.
I
too
mean, yeah,
bad.
it's like up to moderate rain. A lot of times I won't even use them because it just kind of gets in the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, as long as you're moving fast enough for the water to bead off the windshield. The other one, and I guess it's the same kind of thing, is the highest fan setting on the AC because it'll be like, again, violently fast. Where it's like,
One thing that I've noticed, like all the times for some reason, like it seems like every time I test drive a car, like at a dealership, it's always like hot.
yeah,
So like you get into whatever car to like check it out with the salesman. It's like, okay, let me fire it up, and it's like, and then the first thing you're just
oh, they'll put on auto.
yeah,
or
because
something.
it's just like it's good because the car's fucking been sitting in the sun for God knows how long. So it's like all you hear for the first whatever new car, just this like fan just fucking
Fan noise.
blasting.
Yeah, that's your association with.
And like you need to leave it like that for like 5 minutes or something for the car to cool down.
Yeah. Well, I
There
guess
you
we've answered that. You use them outside of California.
Yeah, Lena said use them. I guess they help in the snow, which we wouldn't know a whole lot about.
That's true.
Snow.
Yeah.
What's that?
Fog lights do?
Yeah, I think that's.
Uh,
I assume she was talking about fog lights.
oh, because
not,
they're
not windshield
Or maybe
wipers.
the windshield wipers. I
Maybe
don't know.
both.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the STI, it was nice because there was a dial to point the headlights down.
Oh, that's cool.
So like instead of fog lights, you could just adjust the headlights so they pointed lower,
really?
so they don't reflect as much in the fog. But
That's sweet.
yeah,
Well, how about this? What about when there was when like the Volvos and stuff had the wipers on the?
Yeah.
on the headlights.
Yeah. The M5 has sprayers for that. I guess for what?
Mud, maybe mud.
Or grime?
I don't know.
The wipers are pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder,
Tiny little-
wonder how many of those still work.
Like, oh, that's going to break. Yeah, you're in AutoZone.
Yeah.
Let me get wipers and then let me get the little,
Like the 3-inch.
let me get the like $30
Q-tips.
replacements for these. You know, that's pretty sweet. Okay. This is a topic that before we started the podcast, Mike was looking at an ISF.
You know,
So this doesn't really fit in, but I told him, hold on. We shouldn't
we
be
started talking about
we shouldn't be talking about cars if we're not recording it.
wasting
And
some
so-
good stuff.
We may as well put it in here. Lexus ISF, now that they're
Mm-hmm.
getting a little bit older and like semi forgotten about.
It's always been a car that's come up.
Yeah.
So, how about an ISF?
Yeah. My opinion on the ISF, also Savage Geese just did a video
Right.
on them. If you
Yeah.
want
Sup,
an-
Goose?
Sup, Goose. If you want an actual review,
Yeah.
go check out his video. Except he always gets private party cars.
Yeah, for older stuff.
Yeah.
For I mean, it's like for older stuff, and it's like it's so funny because those car channels that do reviews of people's cars, it's just a reminder that like no one has a perfect used car.
Really, yeah.
It's like no, it's just
Unless it's just been like sitting in a garage for 10 years.
even then, like he did that M5 video,
Right.
and it's like this thing was like super nice. He's like, oh, but the like third, and
Yeah,
fourth
third and fourth just
synchros
don't work.
are, like blown out.
Yeah, you got to go to
Like,
second to fifth.
what? It's like it's such a shame that a lot of these reviews are, and they factor that in. They'll be like, this has 60,000 miles, and here's how the interior is holding up, which
Right.
is nice. But it's always funny to me, or it's like, yeah, it seems down on power, and like it's like throwing a check engine light and stuff. It's like, is this really an accurate review of this car? It's like depending on that owner's.
That'd be pretty funny if car companies just maintained like press fleets
Press
of all
stuff.
like going
be
back like
amazing.
50 years. I know Honda actually like has some older cars that they give out.
Oh,
They have
really?
like an S2000 and like an older SI
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, the ISF, I really like those things, and I think the coolest part about them is that they're reliable.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a Lexus.
really is still a Lexus. But there's something about them that is just kind of boring to me. I don't know what it is.
I think it's just that like mid to late 2000s shape.
Yeah.
No, I like the way they look.
Really?
I really like the way they look, yeah. I mean, it's not exciting, but I think I like restrained cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the driving experience to me. I feel like I would get a little tired of it for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember like being pretty blown away by the one that I drove when it was new, but that was 10 years ago. So I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot has changed since then.
My friend had a really nice. He bought it new at 2014.
Like the last.
It was like
that's
last.
yeah.
I mean, it was 2013, but it was like close to the end. And it was awesome. I loved that car. I guess what it is for the money, because a nice one is still gonna be like 40.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like that's a lot of that's a lot of money for what is
Like a 10-year-old car.
it kind of feels like a GTI to me. It's like the same sort of feel where it's like this is a good car. It's like it does all the
Yeah, there's not like one area.
it's not really it's not stellar anywhere, but it's like it's good everywhere. So I don't know. I do like
most of its greatness comes from its reliability, which you don't really feel when you're just driving around in it.
right. Whereas like the two cars it was competing with, the M3 and the C63, both of those are special in some other way. Not reliable, not super reliable, but they've at least got that whatever. The X factor.
Right,
it's like,
right.
fuck yeah. 6.2 liter.
Yeah, might blow up.
German. Yeah. It might lift the heads on heavy acceleration, but yeah. The thing that it was kind of reminding me of, I've been very heavily looking at C5 Z06s.
Really?
Yeah. I'm getting the itch for another car.
You're getting your Corvette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midlife crisis.
I was looking at it, I was like, when's midlife technically? Is it?
I don't know.
When people talk about midlife crisis.
I think when they say
Like
it, they
late
mean-
40s, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, even though that's not from. Well, I guess it depends on what the life expectancy is, but like, I think generally they mean like in like
Late.
around 50.
Yeah, I think when you're about to turn 50,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
So you're in your early life
I guess
crisis.
I'm early.
It's fine.
I was gonna say, hey, I'm right on time. But
I
it's
bought a
like
motorcycle in my early
Yeah.
life crisis, and then I never used it anymore.
quarter life.
Yeah.
Third life crisis. But those cars it's like one of the few cars that is still worth about what you'd expect them to be worth.
Yeah.
Whereas
it hasn't like gotten some like bring a trailer bump.
Yeah,
like,
like the other thing that I've wanted for a while, and who hasn't, is a NSX.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I just can't spend
45 grand or
50
50
grand for a car that's like, they're cool, but they're not that cool.
Yeah.
They're not 50 grand. Like, let's be honest. They're not
And
50
the
grand
fact
cool.
that that expensive means you can't like
Yeah.
beat you're gonna treat it like a $50,000 car.
Right. Because there was a point not long ago where C5 Z06 and NSX were like the same price.
Yeah.
Right? It was like they're essentially the same price. And so C5 Z06 is still like 20.
Yeah.
Like 25 for a nice one. And it's like, yeah, that's about what I would expect that thing to be worth. And so I've been really looking at those. And after driving your brother's, I was like, it's a fun car. It's an awesome car. And the biggest complaint about those is the interior. And it's like, it's so funny because people complain about the interior on stuff. And I used to be affected by that. I was like, yeah, the interior, like, that's a bummer. It's so shitty. And then I was like, man, I drove like gutted interior cars.
Well, I think it
like
matters
10
for a
years.
daily driver. It's important, but not for like a toy. I don't think.
Or when it's brand new.
Oh yeah,
And they're judging the,
Right.
the whatever.
against the stuff of the
Yeah.
town.
So I've been really looking at C5 Z06, and I think what really tipped me is I finally decided I like them more than the C6 Z06.
Yeah.
Just because I think they look cooler. It's the motors.
I like the way the regular C5 looks over the C6.
hatch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I like the Z06 more.
But the Z06 is obviously better.
from the side. That just looks awesome. From the back and like all the other angles of the hatch is probably better, but that side profile's bad. But the C6 Z06 is like that is entered into just too fast.
it's
just
500 horsepower.
Yeah, it's just too fast for the street. It's like that's just not usable anywhere.
Right.
Or even a C5 is like that's probably still this.
You can ring it out a little
You're
bit.
gonna get a felony, you know? But it's like it's down within just absurd for the street.
Yeah.
But I think C6 Z06 is like that's just too much. That's just too much motor. But it was making me realize like I've been doing a bunch of looking into just all of the like cool Chevys.
Like the Monte Carlo,
Yeah, the Cobalt.
Impala.
And it's like they're all kind of the same because they all use some version of that V8.
Yeah.
And it's like that V8 is, while it is awesome, at the same time, it's like is kind of, it's not, soulless is too harsh, but it's
Oh, yeah.
like all those cars are gonna have a similar power band.
Yeah, it doesn't really have like an outstanding characteristic.
Yeah, it's just kind of like it's strong, and like it pulls. It's a big, so it's like man, C606, like LS7's a cool motor. But then you start really looking into it, it's like it's just the same motor. It just like revs a little higher
Right.
and like makes a little more power. And then it's like you can go the supercharged route or so like I don't know. It's kind of hard to like pick one because they're all very similar. And it sounds like a lot of the people who own one of them will have owned some of the others.
Right.
Or they'll be like, you can look up stuff where it's like 1LE or C6Z or something. I mean, any combination of these, and there's someone who's owned both.
Right.
Because
they just kind of
like,
move on to
they
the
just
next.
kind of like move around. And it's like, what combination of ultimate acceleration, interior quality, and
visibility.
visibility or so, or like ground clearance do you want? Because they're all kind of like, they're all some mixture of that. And so I think I've landed on C5 Z06. I just need to figure out. I don't really have the space.
Just park the 4Runner outside. Right?
Yeah, that would mean putting the 4Runner outside, which
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, because that car is pretty nice. But anyways, ISF kind of made me think about that because it's like I feel similarly about the ISF as I do some of the Chevy stuff, where it's just like, yeah, it's like a cool motor and like it's fast.
Yeah.
But
Probably the coolest thing about the ISF is that it's like fairly unique. There's not like a ton of them around.
Yeah.
You're not going to like go somewhere and see like 15 of them.
yeah, I still notice them.
Yeah.
I very much doubt that car turns heads.
No.
Right.
But when I see them,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh damn,
Yeah.
There it
even
is.
from the front, yeah, they look different enough. It's cool that one thing I will say I really like about the ISF is it is quite a bit different. The body is quite a bit different from the regular
regular
IS.
IS,
fenders and
It's
stuff.
like a different fender and hood and
Right.
front bumper and the rear bumper.
I think the rear
and
quarter,
stuff.
yeah, the rear quarter.
And so instead of just like, same body,
Right.
but like they,
It's got a lip spoiler.
it's got like
Yeah.
a spoiler and wheels or something. So that's kind of neat. I like the unique bodywork stuff, but yeah, I don't know. C5 Z06, now's the time.
It's
Or
the one.
honestly, it might not be. I kind of don't know that any of that stuff is gonna appreciate.
At least not for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a long time before any of the Chevy stuff appreciates. It might have a bottom on price, but I don't know. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah. So that was our car talk corner.
So
Yeah.
top tip:
Yeah.
get any of them.
We don't know.
The other thing I will say that is badass, this is the closing notes,
S10.
is a SS1LE
Mm-hmm.
with a cam.
Yeah.
Because if you cam any of those small block Chevys, they sound fucking
Yeah.
Insane.
amazing
Yeah.
and nasty and badass. And so it's like that car.
Little pro tip.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive. Those are like, what, 30 something?
Yeah. Low 30s.
Mid 30s. Yeah.
That might be the ultimate one because that's a reasonably nice interior. Visibility kind of sucks, but the rest of that car is
Pretty good.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's just that motor is like, it's good, but it's a little bland.
Needs a little something.
And you put cam in it. little cam action, something that makes it sound like it's gonna die.
Yeah.
Idle.
Right.
It's like fixed, done. Okay.
Okay, so now a much anticipated topic: turbo timers.
Yeah. Remember those?
Do you remember when Coin in high school when Coin drove a 300ZX turbo?
For
I
87.
remember.
87
I do.
Z31.
I do remember.
Do you guys remember?
I remember this. Yes.
I recall.
Starred in a couple of movies, Street Racing Chronicles.
But do you remember when Coin used to? Remember when you used to like every place you'd go, you'd either
Yeah.
you'd either warm it up or leave it running.
idling for like 5 minutes before you
No,
shut it down.
it was like 20.
Was it?
Dude,
You
I,
would warm it up for 20 minutes, but you would only.
I
Yeah,
remember.
you would,
I remember
dude.
it being a very fucking
Yeah,
long
you
time.
did, man.
Like you would get.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'd warm it up for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then you'd let it idle after you parked
For
it
like
for
5, yeah,
minutes.
like 5 to 10.
That's
You essentially did the turbo timer.
Bro, you
without.
20.
Yes.
It was very at least
Like
10.
granted, we would like hang
You know
out
how
in
long
parking
20
lots.
is? We haven't even been live casting for 20.
Yeah, we have. We're going for like 40 minutes, bro.
Okay.
Anyway, so why,
Continue.
So the reason you did that was what? Because
Get the oil circulating that turbo.
I don't
bro.
know why I would warm it up that long.
Because you're you.
20 minutes. I'm trying to dig into the mind of the person who doesn't exist that you're remembering. Let me try to salvage your fake story here.
it was a long.
It was
time.
long. It felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe
If
10
you're
minutes.
If you're both saying it, it must have been
It
true.
was very long. I remember like anytime we would start to go somewhere, you would go out to your car and start it.
Really?
And then you would like come back inside.
Oh, that's wild. I warm my cars up for like 10 seconds now.
Yeah.
And then when we got somewhere, you'd let it like
You
cool.
let it-
You let
yeah,
it
you
idle
let it
for another
idle.
like 5 to 10.
Even though you were
minutes.
just driving around town, like
That's
probably maybe
wild.
got
No
above
way.
like 3,000 RPM.
Maybe if I was driving it hard, which I never did.
really pushing it.
Okay, so if I were to let it idle, which it's debatable whether that happened or not, that is for if you have a turbo that's not water cooled, the idea is you keep the oil flowing through it.
because
by idling it.
because that kind of brings us to the turbo timer.
The turbo timer
used to be
Used to be a hot mod.
used to be a very popular mod.
It's
for like
still a thing,
Is
isn't
It is, but
if it's
they're not definitely not
Well,
as
it's
popular.
just even if it's water cool, it's just that it cools the turbo a bit. But I think it's probably still good practice.
I remember they were like pretty cheap.
It was more of
It was like
it's like
yeah,
a two-step.
Yeah, it was like I got an HKS turbo timer.
yeah.
I got a Greddy turbo timer.
Yeah.
now the blow off valve is the more important.
Well, just like now that every car is turbocharged.
Yeah.
And
It'd be sweet
apparently,
if people put turbo timers on like,
Like
Yeah, they might
a Chevy
still.
Cruze,
Yeah, like
stock Chevy Cruze.
Cruise S. Yeah. I wonder if that's still a thing. Yeah, that's kind of
They still make them.
Type R and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like it was very popular on like the 80s and 90s turbo
It must
cars.
have been. You know what it probably was.
But that's
is-
basically what you were doing. You were like doing that because you were too cheap to buy a turbo timer.
Yeah. If I were doing what you say I did, which is debatable, I do remember letting it idle, but not every time and not 10 minutes. But yeah, that was the
Turbo timer.
that was the personal
the
turbo
manual,
timer.
the manual turbo timer.
That was. I didn't trust a machine.
That's when you would think they'd be fucking blowing out turbo timers like crazy with all the turbo.
Yeah. Or they'd be turbo seals cooking. I wonder how that started.
Probably Fast and Furious.
Ancient Japanese secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let us know if you have a who's got a turbo. Do you have one on the STI?
No.
Where have all the turbo timers?
I think
Where have all the turbo timers gone?
The Cobb access port I had, you can like program one into the ECU, but I don't.
I bet the kids still use them.
Maybe.
It's kind of a youth. It's kind of a youth oriented.
No, now the cool thing is the manual boost controller, which I think is like the scariest
Those
thing
still
ever.
exist?
Yeah,
Like in the
Subaru community, it does.
the
Yeah,
vac-
the little
the va-
like spring
the
valve.
vacuum?
Yeah, the one that runs on the vacuum.
in the cabin though.
No, it's usually under the hood.
Oh yeah.
Like you-
that's- I thought you were like, I'm losing.
Oh no.
Do you remember that? Like when like the DSM was like the hot car to get, and it was like, yeah, just manual boost controller.
Yeah.
That's still a thing.
But
It's still a thing,
was
but
like
it's
when
just like
people were-
you're entrusting.
when people were just super
boost
fucking
of your
cheap.
car
Oh,
to
yeah.
like a 10-cent
Just
valve.
like I don't even want to spend like $30 to go faster.
I had one of those in the Z. It's like adds like 40 horsepower with like a screw. It's amazing. Oh man. Okay. Hood latches.
Oh yeah.
We got some goodies
Okay,
Yeah.
tonight.
So my brother bought this 95 Mustang GT that like someone prepped as like a track car.
95 is the
SN
new-
95. So I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but like I was checking it out the other day. And we went to look at it, and I was like, "Pop the hood, let me check it out." And like I went, I popped the hood inside. Then I went to when I was like trying to open it. I remembered like, no matter how much you know about cars, the like the where the
never know
hood
where the
release,
hood-
like
yeah.
well, it'll yeah.
Do that move where you like get down and like look.
Yeah. That, like
Where's
it
the
doesn't matter
latch?
like how
It's
mechanically
somewhere
inclined
in
you
the
are.
middle.
Like
Yeah.
okay,
You're like, shit.
you're like awkwardly
It's in the middle. Let me do it.
Yeah. Do you pull it? Do you push it? Do you
Yeah.
move it to the left? Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah.
The M5 has a little, when you pop the hood, this little lever comes out of the grill.
Oh.
This little like finger
Very
comes out.
German
Yeah,
engineering
it's
right
very
there.
German. It's very German. Yeah, the thing that made me think of is like closing a hood. How there's like debate about how you
Like how hard.
or like do you put it down and
You
then
let it
like
drop.
Oh,
do
yeah,
you do
yeah.
the thing or do you let it drop or whatever? And I was thinking about that because that the first joke we had in the Mustang versus
Yeah.
you
It's
drop
a full vertical drop. Yeah.
drop it
From up there.
Oh, yeah.
Just slams super loud.
fucking like full drop.
That's what rental cars are for.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
build quality.
I'm of the opinion now where you drop it from like a foot up.
Yeah.
Or from like
Shut it.
4 feet.
Yeah, or from
Yeah.
up there. But like you wouldn't. It'd be like shutting a door. Like you wouldn't like latch it and then
Push it.
push it.
I have to do that in the STI because it has the carbon fiber hood.
Yeah, or aluminum or whatever. It's like, oh wait, you push it down.
Yeah, because like if I drop it from like a foot up, it's not heavy enough to actually
Oh really? It'll
fully
like
close
bounce
it.
off.
Yeah,
the
so I have to
latch.
like literally push it down once it's all the way down.
Guess I take it back.
And another, it has like what are those arrow latch hood latches?
Oh, yeah,
I bought
yeah,
it secondhand, and it's like someone had mounted those arrow like really cheap ones, like eBay ones, and they suck.
Yeah,
but
hood
I don't
latches.
actually use them, so I still use the center latch.
Oh, it has that.
Yeah, but
You usually use hood latches because the latch is like busted.
the couple times
it's like,
I like
fuck
took
it.
it service, they had to
Confuses
call me and
them.
they're like, "How do you open your hood?" Blah blah blah, and I was like, "Oh, it's just the standard way to open a hood." Like they thought you had to activate the hood latches, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You have to do both.
right.
Yeah. What time? This will be a little longer. Fuck it.
It's fine.
All right. Let's get into the
The old-
more savory portion of the podcast.
yeah, so we keep like a running
This is a little
Pretty much-
segment we like to call Mike's
Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace
Craigslist foibles.
corner.
All right.
I was basically, I send these two like links and screenshots to stuff. They're always like, save that for the podcast.
Yeah.
So there's a couple. First,
What, this one?
yeah, we can start with that one. Actually, go to that. Oh, you already ruined it.
I haven't shared it yet.
No, you got.
now
Oh,
they're
okay.
looking.
Now it's ruined.
Okay,
Oh, now it's ruined.
So start with the ad.
I don't know which one.
Yeah.
This one. There we go.
This was a couple weeks ago.
If you're listening only,
You're-
this is an ad.
This is a
that says
Craigslist ad.
2007 Mitsubishi Aventador.
It's $2,200.
So I saw this. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to think of like, what is he trying to say? And then
And
I googled it, and then the answer is
It is a
In,
Mitsubishi.
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
2000.
So I mean,
Yeah, it's not a Lamborghini.
you can see
He's close.
Endeavor,
Yeah. He's
Ave-
within-
Aventador. Like it sounds the same.
He's
if you-
within striking distance.
if you're just hearing someone say it.
Yeah, if someone told it to you over the
But
phone.
I do like the fact that people don't know the name of their, like they don't know how to write the
they
name
know
of
the
their, of their
name
own
of their car. Yeah, fuck it. It's on the badge.
Close enough. I know how it sounds.
Here you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a solid one. Okay, and then on Facebook.
one?
Okay, yeah, we can do this.
Okay.
All right, so there's actually two. Do you know what's pretty bad is when you look at an ad for a car and you don't know if they added a zero, like accidentally or not.
yeah,
where
yeah,
like
This is supposed to be 15
yeah,
grand.
like you're
or-
not sure. It's like
So this is a 1973 Ford other Maverick.
Ford Maverick.
Ford Maverick.
It's listed
It looks
for $15,000.
It looks fun. So that's like 1,500 would be like probably a decent deal for that car.
yeah, it looks pretty rusty.
A fair deal.
But it is listed as 15,000.
So and 15,000 is like expensive, but it's not out of the realm that some idiot would think that thing is worth
somebody could
15,000
possibly think
bucks.
This is worth 15,000.
So like anytime you see that, it's like it's not really a good sign. Let's
It's like, how do I
When-
how do I approach this?
yeah.
Hello.
when you're not quite
Did
sure.
you mean 15?
Would you take 1,000?
I assume you meant an order of magnitude less. Yeah.
Okay, and then go to the Trans Am. Okay, so then I saw this one.
Damn.
Okay, 78 Firebird Trans Am,
Sick.
$8,000.
Yeah.
But the thing is, those cars actually like started to go up in value quite a bit recently, and I think he might be asking 80,000.
No.
Yeah, because like
Oh, wait.
I don't think I have the rest of the ad, but it says like restoration just completed or whatever.
Well, that's his goof, bro. He's clearly listing it for 8,000.
50,000 miles.
You should.
Yeah.
You should
I know.
swoop up on
I
this.
didn't say the rest of the ad, but that's what I mean. Like $8,000. Like that's a pretty cool car.
That's what I was saying. Like, I can see paying.
You're like that's
someone paying
that's a pretty
it.
sweet car for $8,000.
Yeah.
But it's like, but he might be asking 80,000.
I'm gonna start high.
Yeah.
They can talk me down to.
So yeah,
50.
those are just two examples of where I literally don't know
If the zero.
if
yeah.
the price is a mistake.
Where the decimal place is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'll be like totally obvious that they
Yeah.
added it.
Right. It'd be like
It'll be like a
500.
Yeah, it'll be like a PT Cruiser for $50,000 or something. And you're like, oh yeah, this guy fucked up.
or he's just
You never know.
ahead of the.
Yeah, there's just a couple of those little in
ahead of the
betweeners.
game. What was the one? What was that Benz ad?
Oh yeah,
do you have
John
that
has
one?
that.
up?
No, oh yeah, no. Start with go to the
No,
other.
we'll start with this.
No.
It's a
okay,
1997
okay,
Mercedes-Benz E-Class.
But this wasn't the title.
This
It
wasn't the main image.
This was not the lead.
But this is what the
image.
car looks
No,
like.
go to the one where you see the whole group. That's
I
all
don't
there,
know
right?
what you're talking about.
Oh, did I not send you that?
I don't
one?
think you sent that one.
Okay, we'll add it after. But anyways,
So
This was the main photo for the ad. This is photo 1 of 21.
This is the intro shot.
Yeah, this is what you see as the thumbnail when you're browsing. 1997 Mercedes-Benz
Which
E-Class.
is just a.
it's like
It's
the
just a-
most stereotypical guy you could get
It's
for
just
like
a picture of a guy's face.
Yeah, in like a jogging
yeah,
outfit.
yeah, it's like you couldn't like picture up
Bluetooth
like
headset.
a guy that's selling a 20-year-old Benz.
Yeah, you're like casting a movie. And you're like, we need a 1997 Mercedes-Benz driver. Like, what about this? And
No,
like,
that's come on.
It's not.
Come on.
We need a little subtlety in this movie. This isn't Tommy Boy. Oh, man.
Tammy, I don't. Well, John will add it, but there's another one of the picture was like where you see the other ads and just like it's like a van and a car and then like that dude's face.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like other ads similar to this.
Yeah, when you're scrolling through.
I'm also single.
Yeah, he's marketing himself.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So we got a van. The van? Should we do the van?
Oh yeah, then yeah. Coin just told this. Well, first of all,
that's right.
this is just a fucking
First
sweet
of all,
van.
check out this fucking van.
I think it's already sold, but
damn.
I wanted it pretty bad.
There's no story here, people. It's just
This is a cool van.
it's just amazing.
The engine shot's there, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what I was commenting,
Fuck yeah.
I was commenting on is
Slant
these,
six.
these old vans where the motor is basically between the driver and passenger's
Yeah.
feet,
Yeah.
and they just like put a cover over it. And in this shot, I'm assuming he has just removed the cover.
And he looks like he had to cut some of the body away too to fit the motor.
Maybe.
I don't
No,
know.
I think he just removed the cover.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they just have kind of a
That's
beefy-
naturally.
Yeah, but it's pretty sweet how like
Some of them, the older ones are even worse. The like '60s ones,
yeah.
where the engine is literally like right in between the two seats.
Yeah, your like arm is resting on the, it's like thin fiberglass kind of
Yeah,
cover.
my van is like kind of like that, but not. It's not that
It's like
egregious.
It's like a flip forward,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So you're maybe just getting like
It's
the
next to the
like the
AC
bell housing.
controls. Yeah. Yeah, but it's pretty sweet. Like you drive around like that, and if something's wrong, you can like look at the motor.
Yeah.
Like,
You can adjust some vacuum lines while driving.
yeah,
you just ride around with your mechanic in the shotgun seat.
yeah. It's
You
like
know, if he had a manual boost controller, he could just be adjusting it.
yeah, that would be in the cabin. He could be like tuning the carb mid-race. He could be. There's all sorts of diagnostic shit you could do on that.
Damn, I want that thing pretty bad.
Yeah. Is that a 4-speed too?
Yeah,
Is that what
dude.
I'm seeing?
Slant
Damn,
six.
slamming those gears. You don't even have to look at the tach. You can just hear when the valves are floating because they're next to your leg. Yeah, it's pretty sweet though. Like when a car's got a rattle or something, and it's like drive around and like I'll look for the rattle.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing where it's like, where's the mist coming from? Where's the ticking noise? Why don't you slowly undo each spark plug as I'm driving? Yeah, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. It's on all of them.
That was it.
I think that's that for that corner. For this edition.
That is
Tune in next time.
that is this month's Craigslist foibles. We'll have to come up with a
Well, intros.
A name for that, yeah. I should have talked about this sooner.
When you're talking about Savage Geese.
Maybe. Now, Goose doesn't really do this. But when people will review a car, and it'll be like, especially comparisons, they seem to do this. Like Camaro versus Mustang or whatever, or like Benz versus something, Audi. And they'll give the car like a human, like a caricature, like an anthropomorphic. They'll be like, the Mustang is like the cowboy in a bar. He's at the end of the bar drinking whiskey and swearing.
He's honest.
And it's like,
but he knows a good time.
They're always like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, he's like the football player, but he's playing the piano in the bar. But he's wearing a suit, but he'll fight you.
They're like the lineman that'll put on his dancing shoes.
It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, what? He's like the old cowboy in the bar you don't talk to. It's like, you've never seen you've never seen this person.
Like, this car is like the straight A student that sometimes it gets its ass kicked.
It's like the accountant who has no life. Works at his job for 45 years and blows his brains out. That's how the Dodge van is to me. And it's just like, they're so dumb. They're always like, it's always some combination of, it's a big, strong man who's also agile. It's like all of them are some form of like, it's a big man, but he also has some like feminine quality.
Or like a small man who's very angry.
Or it's always like, this is an American who studied in Europe.
He did a semester abroad.
He's
now
back.
it's like, yeah, we get it. It's a Mustang, but it kind of feels European. To fucking use the world's lamest example. It's like an American, but he seems European. Like, yeah, that's exactly what you just said. He fights sometimes, but also he plays cricket. It's like, yeah, thanks. It's fucking super accurate. But yeah, it's like it's common. It's like it's still done. This is the football player. Yeah, it's like it's always a bar. There's always a piano. And there's like hard alcohol or something.
That's what you learn in journalism school.
Yeah. It's like, oh, now I understand what that car is like.
Now I get the analogy.
I didn't really get it before. Oh, man.
Dodge Challenger likes to have a good time.
Yeah. Okay, we're now merging into the non-car topics. Speaking of caricatures, can I just say that I am super fucking tired of people this trend of like starting a brand, which frankly is new.
It could be anything. It could be like a physical product.
Yeah, literally anything.
A podcast.
Right. And then they'll do this like graphic style where they'll draw the contributors or the founders or whoever the hosts faces.
Yeah, they'll illustrate the people.
Yeah, they'll illustrate them in this like cartoony kind of like old timey caricature way. And it's just like, it's so fucking lazy.
Can I just say that this particular one came off of a really sweet review of Ford v Ferrari that was like talking about how it's like a horror movie for climate change.
Oh, there's not. That's pretty sweet.
Let's just say it wasn't a glowing review.
Yeah, not good. I don't know why. I see this all over the place, and it's like, because there are some brands that do this, like Mickey Mouse. It's like, he's a household name. Like, hey, you know him.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson.
Right.
But they'll try to fucking like force it out of something where it's like, you know us. You know
we created this organic ice cream.
Yeah. You know these three wacky
characters.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know us. No one fucking knows who you are. It's like,
Another thing those cartoons,
lazy.
they always kind of like gloss over like any imperfections that a person has.
It's just like, hey, are you like kind of unattractive?
well, that one. I don't know.
Here's a way to just like simplify your face. I don't know why it just like bugs the shit out of me when I see Mom and Pop's old fashioned ice cream, or it's like some fucking cartoon of Mom and Pop. Like, yeah, thanks. I was curious.
So that's what they look like.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now I want to buy this stupid product. I don't know why.
It really grinds your gears.
I don't know why it
Gets you heated.
grinds my gears big time.
Yeah.
If you are listening to this podcast, I apologize to our iTunes listeners.
They just missed out big time.
Not only is this podcast not good,
If you've made it this far.
but it is especially bad if you're purely listening. Look at your phone while driving. Bring up the YouTube version.
Ask Siri to do it.
Okay, and finally, it's kind of a weak. We should have ended on that. That one grinds my gears more than this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But this one also grinds my gears. Any tech thing,
Okay.
like ever,
Yeah.
website or computer
App,
service,
whatever, yeah.
app, anything, when something goes wrong,
Yeah.
Or it's just not working.
yeah, it'll be like error message or like it couldn't connect or whatever. No, and then they'll put a little like helpful tips. It'll be like, sorry, like the thing couldn't work or whatever. And then there's always like some extra text. And like number one is always like, try again later.
Yeah. Maybe it'll just fix itself.
Try again later. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, thanks. Great idea. Try again. It's like things you should try.
Right.
Try again later.
Stop this and come back another time.
Walk away from the thing.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll
give up.
Just don't
Maybe we'll get our shit together.
maybe it'll just fucking fix itself for no reason. It's like thanks. I wouldn't have known to try
give it another shot
again if you hadn't told me to.
at some specified time
yeah.
later.
Yeah.
There's fucking like all of that. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like everything is like, sorry,
Oops.
error.
Try again later.
Try again later. Try again later. Oh, okay.
All right.
Like, yeah, thanks. Oh. Ironically, it does work.
Sometimes.
They're not.
But, yeah, but okay. Anyways, I think that's all we got. Thank God. this took a left turn about a half hour ago. Once again, especially thank you to those of you who are here live. Super cool. That makes this a lot of fun. Somebody just said there's no
Popeyes.
there's no Popeyes talk.
Okay, well, let's just.
All right,
I guess
one more thing. Then.
Okay.
So we went to Popeyes
Like 2 hours ago.
right before this
Yeah.
podcast, and I don't know what it is about that place.
I don't know if it's that specific location. Well, it's most
no.
of it.
Other locations even do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like our
They-
success rate at Popeyes is like 30%
Yeah.
of just like
You mean like not having an issue?
Getting exactly
like-
what you ordered.
it's like, man, we went in there.
That doesn't
we ordered.
That doesn't even mean like being treated like a king or anything. It just
No,
means,
I'm not even talking about.
Yeah,
them
it just
being
means
nice.
it just means that them not fucking up something.
It's like we ordered something and we received what we ordered.
Exactly.
It's like 30%, literally.
maybe less, maybe like
It
20.
might be less. And so it's like we're in there and it's like it's not even that busy. And you walk in and every one of the employees looks like they're on a fucking just misery. It's like the worst day of their life. So you already feel bad just ordering. Like, I'm sorry. Can I have a chicken sandwich? And so we ordered we ordered 4 things, something for each of us and John's fiance. And I was like, we should probably check the bag.
Yeah.
Like when we got it, I was like, nah, let's just go. And we get home, and one of the things was missing.
yeah,
one-
just
yeah.
one entire thing. Well, no, they had
25%.
combined what I ordered and part of what Garrett ordered.
That's true. It
Into
wasn't even-
one of the items.
They
like
invented-
his order was incorrect and my
Yeah.
order didn't exist or was melded
Yeah.
into his.
They had like merged the order into like
Yeah.
3 items
Yeah.
somehow. It's always fucked up. And so that restaurant is so funny because it's good. The product is good. You just have to go
through a bunch of
through
shit.
the
Through the
store
Well, I should point out that
to get it.
that most of the time our order is incorrect, but in a positive way.
Yeah,
where
it'll
like
be
we
like-
order a 5-piece and we get like 8 pieces
Yeah,
for
they're
some
just like,
reason,
"Here you
or like
go."
a 3-piece and we get 5 pieces.
They just dump it in.
They just
Yeah.
throw some amount of chicken
So
until the box is full.
I guess the average
It all comes out.
the average all of our experiences
Comes
is
out the
close to a good experience. Okay, now
Yeah.
you're happy, Jake.
Yeah. You can go to bed happy now.
Yeah, you can rest. You can rest easy. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you to the people who are here live. That means a lot. If you are interested in supporting us financially, which frankly is the only kind of support that matters, you can sign up for our Patreon by Googling Carver's Patreon or the link in the description below. Bunch of cool stuff on there, behind the scenes stuff. And most recently is the extra cutting room floor footage from the Monterey video. So check that out. Thank you to those of you who are patrons. That means a lot to us. It means a ton, really. And thank you to all our other fans just listening and not commenting.
And since we only do the podcast once a month now, when we find out the Jay Leno air date, we will post it on Patreon, and I'll post it on Instagram too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we might be back before then. But
yeah, we'll probably be back before
Right.
then. It looks like the next date will be Sunday, January 5th will be our next podcast date. So Sunday, January 5th, 6 p.m. Pacific time, we'll be back live, and we will have more info for you probably on the Jay Leno segment. So thank you guys again for being here.
Yep.
Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed. And
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, and see you next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.